Test. Hello. Hi. So today I'll try to start learning again. So this time I'll try to go through and hopefully finish this PDF book. So this book is called Automate the Boring Stuff with Python: Practical Programming for Total Beginners. So it's one of the most recommended beginners book, at least in Learn Python subreddit, to start with in terms of learning Python. So yeah, let's go through this. For today, I'll try to go through the introduction part. Yeah, so here, hopefully we get this completed. So so maybe just saying that programming spend some time to complete some task. Yeah, so this book is for everyone else. So here he lists out potential applications. So Python can move and rename thousands of files, online forms, download files, custom notifications, formatting Excel spreadsheets, checking your email and sending out pre-written response. Yeah, I think that's cool. So here, conventions. So he says that there's some different coding styles that goes against best practices. So yeah, I think we do not care much about this since we're trying to learn. I guess we'll learn all the conventions as we move along and learn from the time to time. Yeah. Okay, so here, what is programming? So programs like do this, then do that. So I guess he's trying to explain it in the simplest terms, that if you send an instruction, then the program is like the instruction, and if you do this, then you do that. If this condition is true, perform this action. Yeah. So here's a sample Python program. So here he assigns a variable, I guess, I don't know, password file, secret password. So I guess we open the text file and we read the contents. Then I guess this one takes us user input and check if this is correct. Then access granted will be printed, else access denied. yeah, so I think that's right. So here, what is Python? Python is programming language and the Python interpreter software that reads source code and perform its instruction. Okay, so here he's just trying to explain what Python is. So the Python interpreter is free at python.org. So I guess this one is the right. Yeah, so it's trying to explain. So here is also trying to tell us that at least from the beginner's point of view, you don't need to know much math to start learning programming, because I think this one easily scares people most when trying to learn programming. So they always thought that there's always associated mathematics when you try to learn programming, but I think especially in this case, the application of automating day-to-day tasks, you do not need much, I mean, in-depth knowledge in mathematics to at least complete this book. You're not told to learn programming. Yeah, so I'm 27. Mostly I'm working on SAS and some SQL and Linux shell scripting. So I wanted to learn Python as well. So here I am. Hopefully I can absorb all this information. Yeah, da da da. So here, finally, he lays out the chapters for each book. So the remember part one, programming basics. So automating tasks. So I guess here's the basics, and then we use these basics to the next part, which is the automating task. So we learn how to use this basic in the basic Python programming skills, then incorporate them into automating several tasks. Yeah, installing third-party modules, then running programs. I guess this one is running or running your Python program in Windows. Yeah, outside of the editor. Yeah, and some practice questions, the answers. Cool. So I guess we can start now. So download and installing Python. So here's the site. Excuse me. Um, uh, let's go back there. So here's the link. And if we click this one, yeah, it will download the installer. So I guess you can just download and install that. I already installed the Python 393. Yeah, so once you install that, you open that and it's something like this, the idle. Yeah, then next is installing mu. So code with mu, I already installed that as well. So just click this download part and install the installer. Yeah, so starting idle. So I think we'll use mu as our editor. So we try to open the mu application. So I already tried to explore this earlier. So um, this one is like the where you code. So for example, print a, then you save and run, or you can have an interactive what this is term about that interactive shell, right? So here, if you click and open this one, you can also code, but you do not need to save hand in hand. You can just type the code and press enter, and the output will automatically come out. Yeah. Okay, so here is just like examples. Then print hello world. So let's try that in the interactive shell. Hello world. Yeah, so it outputs something like that. Then installing third-party modules. So I think, yeah, so some Python code requires your program to import modules. Yeah, so I think these are for packages that are not yet available in the initial installation. So we need to download that. So I think we need to check that later as we move along, which modules we need to download to do the exercises in the books. Then next is how to find help. I think especially if you're already programming for some time, Google is your friend. So I think here he's showing some example. So he's adding to constant. So for example, let's try that. If hops, okay, so it shows can only concatenate string. Type error, right? So you couldn't understand your instruction, yeah. So if you search this error, I don't know, we're not getting the same error. Can convert int. Or maybe let's try to search this one instead. Message type is string. Okay, I think because we're adding a quoted constant to a non-quoted constant. Yeah. So I think Google can be our friend in case we encounter errors. Then also asking smart programming questions. So I think if Google we cannot find the apparent answer in Google, we can create a thread asking either on Stack Overflow or the Learn Programming subreddit, or yeah, I also go from time to time to the Learn Python, just reading some posts there, trying to understand what other people's posts are, so maybe that can be applicable as well. So here is just trying to outline the good way to to ask programming questions. So here, explain what you're trying to do, specify the point at which error happens, copy and paste the entire message. Yeah, so I guess this for formatting the code when you post that in a Reddit thread. Explain what you've already tried to do to solve your problem. Yeah, so you don't look like you're just asking someone else to do your homework. The version, what you have changed in case before it was working, the reproducibility of the error. Yeah, I think he put some good points here. Yeah, and finally, summary. So the computer is just an unplanned instead of tool, but by learning how to program, you'll gain access to one of the most powerful tools of the modern world. Yeah, I think so too. Programming isn't brain surgery, it's fine for amateurs to experiment and make mistakes. This book assumes you have zero programming knowledge. I have some, but not on Python. But I guess that's just different language, but the logic should be the same. Yeah, let's begin. Okay, so I think that's it for the introduction part. Sorry if I just skimmed through this one. I think there's too many texts, and there's the really important ones are just installing the Python and Mu and walking through the the interactive shells. Yeah, so in the next video we'll learn about the Python basics. So yeah, here's the next list of lessons. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next episode later. Bye.